He says, look, you can be saved but not converted. Salvation takes place instantly. Conversion can take a lifetime. It's like moving from an old dilapidated house to a palace in one day. All your bad habits come with you. You know, I heard a story, and this is a true story they say, here in the Bahamas, where a family moved from one of our islands years ago. They moved from the islands and they came to the capital island here in Nassau. And the story, when I heard the story, I said, now that is a graphic example of how the kingdom works. So they came here and they moved into a beautiful new home. It was an inheritance that it was left to them. And all their life they used an outhouse. When they came here, the story goes that they didn't know how to operate the new house. And when they used the toilet, they stood up on top of the toilet bowl and stooped down. That's how we live in the kingdom. But bring our old habits, our old mindset. The word transform is the Greek word metamorphe. That means metamorphosis, which means to be a complete change. He's telling us that we haven't changed yet. To live in this kingdom, you need a complete revolution of mental state. You need to change the way you think. He says, by the way, the next verse is important. I'm not going to quote it up here, but it says, and then you will know what is God's good, acceptable, and perfect will. That's a powerful statement. He says, look, in order to capture God's perfect will for your life, you got to change your thinking. Now, I think Paul wrote these three words because I think they're different levels. God's goodwill is God's goodwill. You know, someone give you goodwill. Goodwill simply means that they tolerate you. You know, they kind of put up with you. Acceptable means that could pass. And I think a lot of times God says, okay, I know you ain't there, but that could pass. But the third one is God's perfect will. You are now exactly what God wanted. And the only way to get there, Paul says, is to have your mind transformed. Have your life transformed by what? Renewing the way you think. So the thinking brings the transformation.